Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways actual play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game, Rules by KO-Zoom. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try hard to stick to reasonable languages for all ages, listeners should know that this is a podcast that may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., may bear resemblance to persons living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Okay, and welcome back. So, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Old Ways Actual Play Podcast, put on by the Old Ways team. So, the members I have with me to my right this evening.
This is Lonnie, playing Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth, and I have a headache.
You do have a headache. You've also been drinking, and your sleep cycle is now all messed up because you're just coming off a short third shift job where you evidently got hit over the head and knocked and went into the Dreamlands. But you're back from inner space.
Wherever.
Right. So you should be nice and happy.
Oh, I'm very happy. Words can't describe how happy I am right now.
That's the best. That's the best way. And then across from me, joining us this evening.
I'm Jake. I'm playing Private Detective Jack Doyle. I have a case I need to wrap up and a mystery I need to suss out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're a very busy man. I hear confession went well.
Yeah. I have unloaded my soul, as it was.
It's always nice to unburden yourself, especially if it's something that you may or may not care about someday.
Right.
Then to my left,
Tiffany playing Maeve O'Shea, and she is getting ready to go shopping.
Yeah, speaking of that, you get back to, after your kind of long and arduous and sadly completely unproductive trip to the library, you've returned back to your domicile where Jimmy's car is waiting.
Oh, whoops.
By the time you get there. And when he sees you kind of walking up the sidewalk, he steps out of the car and he says, hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, just, snap it up and we'll get on the road.
All right, I'll hurry up and get in the car.
Okay. So where to?
I'll give him the name of the salon I've used before.
Okay.
Tell him how long it'll be about for that before he can come back.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. He puts the car into gear and kind of motors on down towards the downtown area. You talked to your buddy Doyle recently?
No, I haven't really spoken to anybody since I got back.
Yeah, he was working on a case of this missing woman. And word around the office is he may have stepped in something.
Oh, good lord.
I gotta tell you, Miss O'Shea, you may not be with the best of people. These are not people you want to get on the bad side of. So, I know you got this gig and all, but maybe you do me a favor and you talk to him.
Yeah.
Try to find out whatever possessed him to go down to a certain delicatessen and ask for Johnny Torrio. Tell him to never do that again.
Okay.
Because the people I work for, they hear these things. And when detectives, whether they're public or private, start asking around for, people in high places, people below those people get a little worried.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I will talk to him. Maybe tonight.
That'd be wonderful. he drops you off down at the salon area, and you go in to have your appointment. It's even while they're doing your hair and you're preparing and all the things that are happening, it's still a little hard to shake the vision you'd had earlier. It's difficult because this monstrous face you saw, this almost circle within circles of teeth, and that the brutality that your fellows had to use to get it to stop moving. It's fairly jarring still.
Yeah.
But within a short hour or two, you're finally prepared to drive back home.
Yeah. Well, I was going to pick up a dress and then I was going to go home.
Okay.
So that I'm prepared for Saturday, because tonight's still Friday, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Tonight is still Friday. So the dress pickup is not difficult at all. There's more than enough in the ways of stores in the downtown Chicago area for you to find a nice dress. The question is I guess, is how much are you looking to spend, really? What class of dress are you looking for? You've never been to Davidson's, so you don't know what type of establishment. I mean, you know what type it is, but you don't know what level to go into.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to look expensive without being, like, overly expensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
You know, like, it's nice, but it's not like I spent, $100 on it or something.
Well, you gotta know, not in the 20s.
Okay, or I spent $40 on it.
Right, yeah, no. So it would probably be, a reasonable dress might be between $2 and $5, and then something that would be a little bit more elegant, perhaps, might be potentially twice as much if you're really looking for some serious work, or if you're looking for something that is trending ahead fashion-wise.
That's usually what I go for clubs, anyways. Something that's, more forward.
Okay. So, would you be looking for more of European fashion then, or are you looking for a different style? You could go into any style you're looking for.
Usually, I would think it's probably go more European. So she just seems more, just different in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's all sorts of different types of dresses you could pick from. Mm-hmm. There's, something with perhaps a different kind of angle to the way the hemline of the skirt works, different frill patterns and whatnot, hats, all sorts of different accessories. But these are definitely not American style, so they are going to they're going to segment you.
Yeah.
Off a little bit. You're definitely going to see a difference. Okay. You get your dress and you call Jimmy and get your ride back. Unless you're going to take a yellow cab, some sort of cab or train or...
No, I'll have Jimmy drive me back, and I tell him that I will speak to Doyle as soon as I can get a hold of him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's, yeah. I was asked.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't see him very much, so...
Oh, no, that's not it at all, really. It's that, he puts the car into park. You see, they know that I know you. And they know that I know him. And they know that you know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the reason they're mentioning it to me is because they know that I'm going to say something to you.
Right.
So for the good of all three of us.
Awesome. Okay.
He picks up your dress and offers to take it inside.
Sure. Then I'll have him hang it up for me.
It's okay.
And then, yeah, as soon as he leaves, I'll get on the phone.
Okay. You're calling Mr. Doyle's office?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Doyle, I'm not sure where Friday afternoon you'd be.
Well, I took care of my business in the morning, so I'll probably be going back to my office anyhow.
Maybe trying to piece through some of the information that you have?
Yeah, I might even put some calls out to some of the big cities, see if I can locate this Augustus Larkin.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. A quick call or two goes out. Well, I guess what cities would you be looking at?
I'd start with New York, then maybe Los Angeles. I don't have anything much to go on other than his name. So
Yeah. I mean, you have...
Well, I'd probably do Chicago first.
Sure.
Then New York, then Los Angeles.
You do have the article so you know where you were headed, or he was headed.
That's true, but I'm not going to be calling Lima.
You've never tried to call internationally, to my mind, so that might take a little bit of investigation work. But after placing a few calls, so the first obviously to Chicago, New York, secondly, LA, near the end, you're waiting on calls back. And Chicago answers pretty quickly that there are Larkins listed in town, but they don't have an Augustus at all. You get a similar answer back probably the next 30 or 40 minutes from New York, and it takes you probably clear until about 2 or 3 o'clock before you get an answer back from LA because of the distance.
Right.
Because it actually takes about an hour or so to even connect the call. Because they've got, smoke screens and Pony Express. And no, I'm kidding. It's just, long distance calls take time to set up. So, but so far, it doesn't seem like any of the 3 big cities, anyway, in the United States have an Augustus Larkin listed.
All right.
And your phone rings a 4th time.
Doyle.
Mr. Doyle, this is Maeve O'Shea.
Oh, hello, Miss O'Shea. What can I do for you?
So there appears to be a case you're working on that you went to a specific delicatessen and asked for a specific person.
Mm-hmm.
Could you not do that?
Well, sometimes you've got to shake some cages.
Okay, you shake cages and it affects me. And it affects my driver. And the people he works for.
I see. Well, I apologize for that.
I promised that I would say something to you because I'm not involved in that and I don't want to be. I have a driver. That's all.
Right. Hey, why I've got you on the phone?
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about Peru?
I'm sure I've got some books with some stories.
Well, I just had this weird dream, and I'm not the only one out of our little group. Sazi, Miss Fairchild, also had a dream that kind of matched up with it. And so I've been doing a little digging, and I found out some information. Do you know an Augustus Larkin?
Well, that's weird. How do you know an Augustus Larkin?
Well, I found this newspaper clipping about an expedition to Peru being put together by Augustus Larkin, and I can swear that was connected to my dream somehow.
Yeah, I had something somewhat similar, and I remember his name, and I went to the library to go figure it out, but I ended up finding a totally different Larkin.
Yeah, I've put some calls in. There's no record of him in Chicago or New York or Los Angeles. I might have to spread it out a little more. Let me ask you another question. Where were you in January of 1921?
Do I even know?
You take fairly reasonable amounts of notes, and during your studies, I don't know that you. I mean, we know here in game the player journals. Is that true for the character as well?
Well, yeah, anything that she's researching, she would have her own notes to cross-reference with her father's notes. I mean, that's why she carries her satchel with her all the time. And
yeah, you probably go through a fair amount of notebooks or that sort of thing throughout the year, so you probably have to check some of your personal journals and whatnot. You can't remember off the top of your head. It's a little foggy.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I can check notes that I have and see what I was up to. That's 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, just over.
I don't know. Why? What were you doing?
See, that's the funny thing. I can't remember exactly. And neither can Miss Fairchild.
So did you have the same dream? What were you guys doing?
Well, we appear to be in South America going on some expedition to a temple.
And you don't know what you found when you got to the temple?
No idea.
I might know. That's not good.
You care to elaborate?
See, here's the thing. Yes, I have the name Augustus Larkin. However, is it all the same dream? Or is it something for me to interpret? So I don't know if what I saw in my vision/dream is what happened, or if it's for me to interpret in another way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's somewhere of that mystical gobbledygook.
Sure, yeah.
So I really think that we need to get together with maybe the doctor and Mr. Forsyth and see if that's maybe there's a connection there.
So do you think like somebody mass hypnotized us or something?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's very weird that we're all having kind of the same connection, and at least two of us can't remember a period of time that this expedition took place.
Do you remember a guy named Jesse with us?
No.
Not off the top of your head, you do.
Yeah, nothing I've seen or dreamed or whatever it is.
Okay. I'm just trying to connect other people, because I did see you and Mr. Forsyth and the doctor and Jesse. But that's it.
You find this very surprising.
And we said something about finding Larkin.
Like he was missing?
Yeah, I don't know. Just that we had to find him.
Well, this just gets stranger and stranger.
Yeah, I don't really know how something like that could happen and us not remember. But then again, how do we know the same person but
Right.
don't know who that is?
I mean, in my dream, I actually saw Larkin.
Oh. Interesting. Well, yeah, maybe we should all meet up together, I guess, if we're all having visions. Maybe we all took the same drug. Who knows what happened with the thing, in the thing.
Yeah, right.
It's all a bad batch of moonshine. That's all this is, right?
Yeah,
Some foul meat from the Swift Meatpacking Company.
Right. No, I hope not, because...
Yeah.
I'm not vegetarian now.
If anything would make a character vegetarian, it would have been that scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's all right. More meat for the meat eaters.
All right. Well, I will take your advice to heart. And we'll have to get together again with, the others.
Yeah. Just remember, you're dealing with more than one person with your case.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I really, yeah.
I mean, I hope you find what you're looking for. Just remember the rest of us, I guess.
Right.
They know where I live.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
You hang up the phone. It begins soon after the phone rattles back down in the cradle. Your brain begins the subtle dance of picking at itself, something you're very familiar with and used to. It begins with this central question of where you were during this period in 1921. And for a while, you think you have it solved. Of course, you were here, you were in Chicago, you were developing contacts, and you were branching out, and you were studying books that your father had left you, and you were really coming into your own. Just a woman of 20. And try as you might, you can't seem to put a fork into the meat of what you were doing in 1921. And it's maddening a bit because it's only been 2 years.
Right, which means I'm probably going to then start ripping into my notes and my, journals, and...
You start opening book after book on the lower parts of your shelves, one that contain all of your journals in a fairly well-organized area. And you start going back, and you start at one, and then you go past 2 or 3, and you see how you've been working through them. And then go ahead and make me a spot hidden roll.
Do not roll 100 this time. How's that? Grab ya. Oh, well, no. I just failed.
Okay. You find the book. You find the era of this journal from a few years ago. Cover on this one is a little bit... it's almost as if it's got a bit of a wrinkle to it. Maybe it got wet at some point. And you open it and you leaf through it. But you don't find any... I mean, this is the journal, but you don't find any notes here that say that you went on some grand expedition to Peru. But it's difficult for your mind to control because the vision you'd had was so clear. It was so prescient in your mind. It was so forward. It had to have happened.
Well, I could think that, but then if I don't have anything, I would think I would remember leaving the country, since I've never left the country. I guess I'm going to start doing almost like a mind map of what the different things could mean then. The creature, the mummified creature, the gold, and just start thinking of all the meanings that, this could have, maybe it's something else trying to tell me something.
Okay. Interesting. Why don't you give me a power roll?
I failed that as well. Yes, I'm on a roll.
Ooh. Your problem is you don't believe you have enough touchstones. You believe that your information is incomplete. And so what you need is more information. Because you can't create a reasonable form of what it could be because you feel like you're missing other pieces. And you know that there were other people within that vision you had. You don't know who Jesse is.
Right.
At least you don't think you do. You know Doyle was there. And the doctor had come up behind you, and so you knew he was there.
Well, I guess I'll wait for this meeting, and I'll also try and meditate before I go to bed, and maybe I'll have another dream that'll give me more information.
Interesting.
If something is trying to tell me something.
Interesting. Mr. Forsyth, you wake Friday.
Yep.
About 4 o'clock.
In the morning?
p.m.
Oh.
You went to bed at about 10:30
That's true.
or so.
That's true. It was third shift.
You stretch your body You can immediately feel the knot at the back of your head, which does feel better, but
Yeah.
oof. It's everything face forward is a little zingy this morning. You feel every movement of your head back and forth.
Take some aspirin.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
At least the Germans are good for one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. We have a lot of listeners in Germany. I
I understand. I just
like them. Hello to our German listeners. Just gonna leave that. I guess the question is, it's 4:30 or so. You're just rolling out of bed, taking some aspirin, and what do you think would be first on Lawrence's mind?
I have these stones.
You do.
I need to get these stones to all the people as soon as possible because I'm going crazy. And but at the very least, I need to talk with somebody who will understand this nonsense that I've cooked up with these fantastic stones that have suddenly appeared.
Okay.
And the person I know of with the most knowledge of that sort of thing is Miss O'Shea.
That's probably true. Okay, so you're going to collect some things like a...
Well, first I'm going to take a shower because I spent half of the night in a hole.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm sure I don't feel very, I mean, plus, I'm not going out in workman's clothes anyways.
Probably not, no.
So I will quickly shower, organize my thoughts, or quickly bathe, organize my thoughts, and get dressed in something casual.
Okay.
First, I will call to see if I can get a hold of her, and if she is at home, then where home is, so that I can...
Very well. So, Mr. Shea, it's about 5:30 or so. It's been about an hour after your kind of wholesale ripping apart of your past, your immediate past anyway, but via your journals, when your phone rings.
This is Maeve.
Miss O'Shea, yes, it's Mr. Forsyth. Lawrence?
Yes?
Are you going to be home for any length of time?
Yes, I don't have any plans.
Can I stop by and see you? I have a matter I need to talk about with someone who understands a bit more than I do.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, could I get an address?
Yes.
Yes, the 1920s version of Can I Get Yo Digits?
Yes. New phone, who dis?
Okay, you acquire her address.
Yes. And I tell her that I will see her shortly.
Okay.
And then I go and I get in my car and I drive to...
Before you get in your car, what are you taking with? What does he take with him?
Well,
Because Lawrence is a man of equipment.
He is, but there's not a lot of equipment here. I'm taking the stones.
Yep.
I wish I hadn't tossed that stick away. Cause,
You just put them in your pocket?
yes, just putting them in my jacket pocket. I really can't think of anything else I'm taking with me. I mean, no, there's nothing else I can think of that I need to take with me.
You get the car cranked up and going, and
Wait a minute. Actually, let me double check and make sure real fast. Oh yeah, no, I'm just taking myself.
okay.
I'm just taking my fair white body.
Yes, all the investigators are now plumbing into their boxes that I've made for them.
Yes, I have to reference a couple of notes.
Double check all the information they have.
Nope, that was a long time ago. Okay.
I think Call of Cthulhu games almost single-handedly hold the stationery industry up with all of those envelopes and letters and
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Forsyth, you make your way over to Miss O'Shea's. She has a reasonably nice bungalow.
You know, it seems to be a decent neighborhood for a young woman.
Absolutely.
With no husband. Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
She is unattached.
Yes.
You sure it's proper for you to show up there without an escort or a chaperone?
Oh, absolutely, because, I'm an old man.
You are an old man. I mean, by comparison.
No. I mean, come on now. Life expectancy was not much beyond what I am, so, yeah.
Well, it's not the middle. It's not the Dark Ages, for Christ's sake. I mean,
right.
People lived.
And, okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I wanted
to go down that tangent.
Yeah, you're right. It's a pet peeve of mine, but I'm going to let it go. Just going to let it go.
We'll see a furious post later on.
How dare you!
Right.
At any rate.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You arrive.
I knock on the door or push the doorbell or...
Either or both.
Well, I mean, she may not have a doorbell. I don't know.
I'm assuming you do. I'm going to assume that you have a doorbell.
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Well, if my father was a dentist, we probably did have a doorbell, so
Okay.
I will go answer the door. Hello.
Miss O'Shea, thank you for agreeing to see me. I have a problem. Here, take this. And I hand her one of these.
Jeez. He passes you a 3 to 4 inch tall obelisk, blue obelisk. The smooth stone is cool to the touch, but there does seem to be almost a resonance to it when you touch it.
I was instructed to give this to you.
Okay. Come in and have some coffee?
Please.
Coffee sounds pretty good.
Yeah, actually it does.
So you step inside and...
place to sit. I assume there's a sitting parlor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will sit down and I will say, I've had a problem over the last night. I was working at the construction site, and while I was there, I was rendered unconscious. An unfortunate series of events, but in it, I was confronted by rather strange visions that ended with me possessing these stones that I have never seen before.
Your vision gave you stones?
Yes. And you're the only person I know of who knows of anything like this, so...
Okay. What was your vision of?
Well, I was on a flight of stairs, and there was a tree.
Okay.
And then I went down the stairs, and there were 2 men at a table and a fire pot. And the men were huge. They were easily 10, 12 feet.
Antlers, horns?
No, robes.
Oh, okay.
They look like monks.
Okay.
They told me about something, a crawling chaos.
Okay.
Someone who, one who whispers, says he laughs in the dark at us, and he is coming. And he gave me stones that he said would protect us all, and I thought it was just a fever dream, because I fell and hit my head. But when I woke up, I had these stones in my hand.
Are they all the same?
Yeah, I showed her the other 4. Yeah, they're just...
They are very similar.
Yeah. Just clack, clack. They're very heavy.
Okay.
I know I'm going mad, but...
Well, it seems the vision thing is going around. So, I don't know if it's just you. And if it's not just you, how did somebody get to all of us? But that is another question I will answer at another time. Do you want me to roll like occult to see if I can think of anything that 10-foot tall monks or what book I might have?
Occult might be a good start.
Maybe I've heard a story or... Yay, I finally made one!
Take your occult box. So there are many, many legends of, robed beings. The giants and the, giants like Goliath.
Right.
Or some of the Egyptian gods are tall. He said they were dressed in, he told you they were dressed in monks' robes.
Right. So I'm thinking of giants and robes and and a tree. So to me, that would seem very like druidic or very.
It would seem almost like that to you. And there are certain.
That's why I asked about antlers or anything like that.
Sure, maybe something like Hearn, a large being, the Green Man, somebody who's robed and has horns, but he didn't say anything about horns.
No.
And so, there are a bevy of things it could be. You'll need more information before you can... although I will give you a separate skill roll if you'd like to roll your Cthulhu Mythos.
It'll be hard.
He mentioned something there.
The Crawling Chaos or the One Who Whispers? Because that's something I'm going to reference to.
The Crawling Chaos is something we can only hope you'll fail.
I did. I failed it.
Yes, it seems to stick out to you. He's very purposeful when he talks about it, but you don't have any recollection of a name like that.
Okay.
Perhaps it's just your mind protecting you.
Well, I will have to do some more research to see if I can find what this means or who this is. It's not like our other visions, though.
What visions?
Well, I had one that involved us, minus Stasi, because I don't know where she was at. And Doyle had one, too, with the same man in it. We both have the name Augustus Larkin.
That means nothing to me that I know of. Or should I roll for that?
No, I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Thank you. Because, that means nothing to me. Who's Augustus Larkin?
I don't know. That's who we're trying to find out. Because he has that name, too, from a dream he had. And that we were in Peru. But mine was we were in another room dealing with another creature. And you were there. And the doctor. And a man named Jesse. And Doyle.
That makes no sense. I haven't been south of... I haven't been south of Cairo in a decade.
What were you doing in January of 1921?
Well, I was working, of course. I mean...
Why don't you roll POW for me?
Yeah, let me roll POW. This will go well.
We're spreading the insanity.
It's my favorite part.
Can I spend luck on this?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 42.
Okay, and what's your...
40.
Sure. Go ahead and spend 2 points of luck.
I will spend 2 points of luck.
Sucker.
I am a sucker. Yes, I am a sucker. Thank you.
I always appreciate that Lonnie's the sort of player that wants bad things to happen.
Right.
Yeah,
Look,
that's great.
Look,
That's part of the story.
it is.
You kind of dig back in your memory a little bit, and you try to determine what the answer to your question is. Well, of course you were working. You were working on, and then there's a very pregnant pause. And you remember taking a train ride south. and try as you might to clamp down on where the train was going or what you were doing, it seems to evade you, and you don't have an answer for her.
I was working. It must have been an out of town job because I was taking the train. That's.
You're 100% certain.
No. Wait. No.
See, I can't find any reference to what I was doing really either. I mean, I have some vague idea of what I was studying and what I was doing, but I can't find anything specific. I mean, it certainly says I didn't go out of the country. However, Doyle can't remember what he was doing either. After what we've already been through, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this yet.
Should I roll sand here?
Sure.
I have a feeling that losing a chunk of time might do that to me. Oh, I rolled a 93.
Okay. You lose a point of sanity. In that loss, though, as you frenetically search your memory bank for what you might have been doing, you get that feeling like you were somewhere on a train.
Yeah.
You can see the work satchel next to you on this train as it sways back and forth. You can see a magazine on your satchel. You see you were reading something.
Well, do I see what it was? Can I think of it?
It's a men's leisure magazine, one maybe that you're already a member of.
Really? Huh.
On top of the magazine, you see a piece of bright yellow paper. You can just see it in your mind's eye. You see that it was there. You hear a voice, and you can hear in that voice someone on the train is asking you something. They're asking if you want anything to drink. And the English that they're speaking in is broken and thick. It's definitely not their native tongue. The back of your head hurts a bit.
Yeah, I have.
You see him grab the back of his head.
Yeah.
You all right?
I fell yesterday, and I've got a rather large lump on my noggin.
Maybe you should see the doctor.
Well, I have to see the doctor anyways, but
So you said these stones had like a resonance, right? When I touched it?
When you touch it, it feels like it seems to almost hum in your hand.
Can I see one more of those?
Sure.
Does the other one?
Nope.
Just the one.
Just the one he gave you.
Interesting.
You've seen crystals like these before in some of your father's books. You've seen them as focusing crystals.
Right.
It's used in a lot of different types of hermetic magics.
And they're supposed to be... You said these were for protection?
That's what he said.
Against the one who whispers.
Yes.
Okay. I will do more research. I'll have to get back to you on this. I have not heard that name or somebody referenced to that or the crawling chaos, which seems like I would remember if I heard.
Most likely.
Yes, I should probably go. It's getting late. You said you just talked to Doyle?
Yeah.
Is he at his office?
Yes.
Maybe I should go see him at his office then.
Okay. Yeah, make sure he stays out of trouble.
All right. Mr. Forsyth, you take leave and get in your car and head to Doyle's office. It's not too far away. You know where it's at.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
And as you head there, you get the feeling that the puzzle just got bigger.
I can't stop thinking about this train.
No, you can't. And that yellow piece of paper, you wish you could see what it said.
Yeah. I'm sure it was something,
You arrive at the office of Mr. Doyle, private detective.
Yeah. I go and I buzz the door.
Once it's open.
It's open.
I knock on the door and walk in. Just to let you're in.
Oh, Mr. Forsyth.
Mr. Doyle, we have a problem.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
I mean, more than usual.
But first, I've been instructed to give you something. And I hand you one of these.
He hands you a small blue obelisk. It's cold to the touch, almost as if it's been in an icebox.
Where have you been keeping this? In your icebox?
No, it's been in my pocket.
Really?
When you kind of move and adjust it with your fingers and look over it, it doesn't feel like the heat from your hand is affecting the temperature of the stone at all.
Well, that's unusual. Where'd you get it?
In a dream.
You know what? I'm not even going to ask.
I've already talked to Miss O'Shea. She's looking into that. But I've been told that some thing or someone is coming and we should carry these for protection.
Oh, all right. Well, who am I to question instructions from a dream?
Hey, the Irish love a good old-fashioned suspicion.
Right.
I mean,
maybe it's protecting me from fairies or something.
Evil eye or whatever.
Right.
I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Hey, I have something for you to look at. I'm assuming Miss O'Shea asked you about this.
1921, January 13th? Where did you get this?
From the paper. And, January 13th, 1921 paper.
This is impossible. This is not possible.
Well, I mean, it's obviously possible. It's in the paper.
It's printed. It must be true.
Right. I mean, you can't print it if it's not true.
That's right.
That means something to you?
It can't have meant anything to me, but Miss O'Shea was talking about asking where I was at that time. I know I was working, but I'll be damned if I can remember where.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty common, apparently. Miss Fairchild, myself, you. Miss O'Shea felt that she knew where she was at, but
that makes no sense. I didn't know any of you before all this.
Well, apparently that doesn't seem to be true.
Doyle, have you got something to drink?
Do I? Yeah, buy yourself one.
And I do.
Put a couple glasses out,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the two of you share a drink.
I mean, I wish I could say that this was the strangest thing that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks, but it's really not.
It does not appear to be the strangest thing. The toughest part for you, for Lawrence, is if you'd gone to Peru, just like when you went down south to build the canal, you'd have evidence.
Oh, yeah.
There would be things. There would be something that you would have. Things you would have taken back. You would have had maps. You would have had travelogues. You'd have had something, because you're a man who travels. When you do, you're a collector. You collect things.
Also, if I was working, it would have been working on building something. I would have plans. I would have, notes, I would have...
Absolutely.
Have you looked for any of that?
I just found out about it an hour ago. And
Right.
just now.
Maybe you have some of that and you just don't realize it. I mean, how often do you go through your old stuff?
That's a fair point.
I'm a damn fool.
I mean, I would feel that if I had gone to Peru, I would have something to show for it as well, but I haven't really looked for anything.
Let me go.
So I don't have a lot.
Let me go home and look. You haven't seen the doctor, have you?
No, I haven't heard from him. I'm assuming that he's trying to catch up from his absence from his practice.
Well, not to mention giving Lily a day or two off.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So you can all imagine he's probably fairly busy.
Right. I don't want to bother him, but I think we need to get the whole group together and see what we can piece together. Maybe something over the weekend. I don't know.
Well, thanks for the drink. Call me if you find out anything.
Oh, yes.
I'll do the same. And I'm going home.
All right. Lawrence, what are you doing when you get home?
I'm going to start digging through my stuff.
Okay.
Find anything with any relation to South. Any notes I might have, any plans.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
Spot hidden or...
Yeah, I think so. It's you can have an advantage on the roll as well because it's your house.
Oh, okay.
So roll your 10s die again.
Yep. Okay, that's how it worked. Odd 7.
So what's your spot hidden?
34. So that's an excellent.
Yeah, so that's definitely a extreme success.
Yes.
It takes you a good hour to go into the crawl spaces where you've packed stuff away after so many years. And in the crawl spaces, underneath your house, you find a small shovel. And it looks like the worn wood handle was used at some point fairly well. It doesn't look like it's a shovel that's meant for, what you would call a hard day's work. This is more like an archaeologist's tool. Something that's almost like a larger trowel that's used.
Yeah.
The reason why it sticks out in your mind is because the stamp on the back of it shows that it was made in Peru. Next to that shovel, you find a box.
I open it.
Okay. Open it. You find a box. It's a little bit bigger than a shoebox.
There's a map of...
The worn map pages flutter a bit in your hands.
A map of Peru?
Map's fairly well detailed.
Oh, yes. And then there's another map showing the railways.
This appears to be more like a locals map.
Yeah.
Showing you different travel paths that you could use to get in and out of Peru.
Yes. There's some strange notes on it as well. One of the routes is in red, and I don't understand. It's in a different color than the other routes. And then there's what looks like a hand drawing of an excavation, maybe? I've seen this sort of thing when I was down in the Panama Canal.
Sure, you've seen hand drawings before, especially of excavation sites. The toughest part of this specific one is that it appears that that's your handiwork. You know the way you draw.
And drawings of walls with faces on them, and a section that just says tunnels. What the hell did I do? Do I roll sand again?
Nope.
Thank you.
No, you don't roll sand again?
Because I've lost 4 already this session.
Yeah. If anything, these maps, as troubling as it is that you cannot remember where you were in 1921, these maps back up who Lawrence is and what he would be doing.
Yeah, no.
He would obtain maps. He would create maps that he didn't have. He does all of these things.
And if I had seen these, yes, I mean, I don't remember doing anything like this though, because I don't travel to places like this. But yeah, no.
Except evidently you do.
Except evidently I do.
I'll leave you there for the moment, Mr.
Yes.
Doyle. It gets around to about 6:30 or so. The office day is over.
Yeah.
The office day is over, so you're probably fairly ready to call it an evening.
Right. Pack up.
Yep. You pack up and get ready to head home. And as you're coming out into the foyer or the lobby area of your office building, there is a surge of a car engine on your right-hand side. You hear the cylinders of a big engine pull up. And out the side window of this vehicle, this dark sedan, you see a weapon you thought you'd left behind in the war. The long barrel, the wide drum.
Oh, man.
And it opens up full blast and begins peppering the building and raining lead and fire down on you. And that's where we'll leave for the evening. We'll see you all next time.